Listen, when Pooh Shiesty said, I'm from where they snaked Martin Luther King at, that is when I knew he was going back to jail. Like that's what I knew. That's when I like he was talking about Martin Luther King like he went down in a drug deal. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he got backdoored by his right hand man or something. That's this so okay, so I finally had time to actually delve into this Pooh Shiesty situation. And I wasn't gonna speak on it, but then somebody was asking me and they kept saying, like, well, I don't understand why he would risk his whole, rap career and, do all this. And I was like, have you listened to Pooh Shiesty? Mr. Pooh don't sound like prison is somewhere he was trying to stay away from. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the biggest change that I would say that's really like if you really seeing what's going on in rap is that it's not we losing rap artists now. I feel like we got this pipeline from the ghettos right into rap, like that's the I don't know, man, and it's making so much stuff weird. Like that's really what the Pooh Shiesty situation makes me think about. It don't make me think about like oh the environment, all these conversations people have. It's like no, he was able to be out of the environment. He's a multi-millionaire. We're not gonna keep going back to them same old excuses. The problem is for a lot of dudes, rap is a side hustle. And I was trying to think about where did that start? Where did that like rap being like something that was a career being treated like an afterthought? And you know what it made me think about is that Jay-Z kind of made this phrase really popular in rap. I'm not a rapper, right? And I think people kind of misconstrued it because when Jay was saying, I'm not a rapper, I told y'all I'm not a rapper, he was saying, I'm not just like a chess piece on a board. You know what I mean? I'm not just taking what they give me. His goal, if you like, even if you go on YouTube, you can watch older footage of Jay around the time Reasonable Doubt dropped was saying like, yo, my goal is to get up in that boardroom, get into these offices. Like he wasn't just trying to be a rapper. He was saying, I'm more than just a rapper. I want to be a part of the business aspect of this. I'm a hustler. I'm a businessman, right? And I think I'm not saying it's his fault, but I think at some point we went from that to this evolution of I'm not a rapper, I'm a street nigga, period. You know? And I think that's what why we having all these like these rappers going to jail in these cases, because I don't think these guys are seeing themselves as rap artists and businessmen. I think they like I'm a street nigga and then I do rap on the side. So when anything goes left, street nigga logic is what's coming first when it's time to to get out of these situations. It's like, do I think that the impulse that Pooh Shiesty had in trying to get out of his contract was the most outlandish thing? No, because we've heard other rappers talk about that, right? We've heard that kind of psychological. Even Chance the Rapper? What was the hook? If one more label try to stop me, it's gonna be some dreadhead niggas in your lobby. Like you heard about Cameron, like yo, to get out of my deal, I brought 100 niggas up to the label. Like that ain't even nothing new. I think where this takes a turn is one, documenting it. You know, also you being the guy holding the weapon. Like it's just it's crazy. But to stay on topic, I think it's crazy because like if you listen, I actually got a chance to I wanted to wait till I heard Mr. Pooh's album, and I feel like 95, 96% of this album is him telling us he's not a rapper, you know? And so I weigh that when I'm looking in at his decision making. You know what I mean? Like he's telling you it's a hard time job trying to be a rapper and a shooter. And I was like, yeah, I guess that would be difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like he's constantly letting us know like I don't, he's fantasizing and missing and daydreaming about the last murder he did or the last shooter he sent. Like this is crazy. And it's only crazy. It's like, listen, if you been around and you know people that's on that, none of this is like a shocking thing where I'm like, well, why would he do like I get that all of that. I think it's more about what's going on in rap that it's not cool to be a rapper and it's not cool to be an artist. Like it's this weird thing if y'all notice where like being a rapper is the corny thing. So much so every new rapper from the streets, I'm only talking about street rappers right now. I'm not talking about, the lyrical miracle artsy guys or anything like that. But every street rapper is telling you like they don't even want to be called a rapper. They don't want to be associated with rapper. It's almost like they look at rappers as like just these guys that are big pretenders, like, red nose clown, like this whole thing, because they don't want to be called a rapper. I'm like, don't you want Grammys and like, don't you want to be a successful rap artist? So it's just weird. Rap is just one of those places where it's the only place where these guys work really hard to get there to not be there, to not want to be associated with these industry niggas. It's like you signed a recording contract. That makes you an industry nigga too. It's like I don't know, man. It's like that. I think it's interesting because we always had street rappers, even if you go back to the 90s and the late 80s. But I think once those guys got into rap, they was into rap. They wanted to be the dopest of the MCs. They wanted to get all the money. They wanted all the women. Like they wanted to be in the industry and live this lifestyle. It wasn't like, yeah, I'm rapping, but I also still want to be in the streets. I mean, so much so that a lot of dudes would be like, yo, why they still talking about this? They 20, 10, 15 years removed from it. And so I think that's kind of like an interesting thing that we have in rap now, that these dudes get in the game to still live outside of the game. And it's not like they have to. I think I think one, the transition is extremely difficult, which is another thing Jay, talked about with Beanie Siegel. I ain't trying to change you, just give you some game, help you make the transition from the streets to the fame. I think at least back then you had guys, they wanted to make the transition, but they didn't know how. These dudes don't even want to make the transition. And I think it's a lot of reasons why. I think rap, just being a rapper, is looked at as corny and fake, and you not living a life. um I think also, man, it's just we living in a different world, so I think it's also the cool factor too. I think about how all these rappers be like, they don't write nothing down. You'll never see like when they posting pictures or or behind the scenes working on an album. You never see a notepad. You never see a pen. And I'm like, what is going on? It's like I think it's listen. If I'm being honest, part of it is a literacy thing. You know what I mean? I think a lot of these rappers cannot read, and if they can't read, they can't write. And I think the only way that they feel brilliant is by going in the booth and like, yeah, I just make stuff up. I just come off the dome. You saw that, matter of fact, you saw that with Pooh Shiesty. There's a clip, I don't know if it's Complex or whatever, where he doing an interview and he talk about, man, it's so easy to rap, and he's like, just give me a word. And he trying to like make words rhyme, but it's not working. And that's what I'm saying. That's another interesting thing to track as well. That I think as we got more street rappers not wanting to be rap artists, the skills department has gone down heavily. It's almost like that's one and one. It's like, yeah, okay, you a street nigga, you got this resume, they know you in your hood, you got money, but your rhyming is trash. And I feel like that was supposed to be, we were supposed to have some bar for rap. Like that was the thing. Like you didn't want to rap if you couldn't. Now I feel like I see so many guys that genuinely are just trash. Just flat out trash. They don't got no cadence. They don't know what a metaphor is. And I think because I always felt like that to be a rapper, you needed to be intelligent. I don't mean a nigga had to go to Harvard or something like that. I think you needed a certain amount of street smarts, and I think you did need a certain amount of book smarts. Like, it wasn't just like, yeah, I dropped out in the third grade and now people should buy my album, you know. I think these dudes, like those guys, the predecessors, the early '90s, the late '80s, like they was talking. You know what it is? I think as I'm speaking about it, I think that we're just talking about a time before the hood became really marketable. So these guys really were street poets talking about their life and where they come from and where they're trying to elevate to. And I think, labels, and you could go down that whole track, but I think it just became so marketable that just became the hook. Like, oh my God, I feel like labels are like, wait a minute, did you grow up in the projects? Can you make 2 words rhyme? Let's do it. You can get out of here. It's like, I feel like I feel like I see, especially like in the younger generation, and when I'm scrolling like all these guys rapping, I'm like, did y'all even try coding first? Like, it's like they skipping over. What about influencer? It's so many ways to make money, but I feel like it's a group of dudes and sometimes women coming out of a certain environment, and it's like, nah, the millions gonna come from me rapping, whether I'm good at it or not, whether I know how to pick up a book or not. I'm just rapping. So I think when you put all that together, man, you get Mr. Pooh. You get a Shiesty. And this isn't, me just making it up. He's saying all of this in his records. I listened to the album front to back, and I was like, he want you to know I'm a real deal street nigga. I don't care nothing about rap or the industry. I'm not afraid to go to jail, and I'm gonna be good. He said he ain't missed nothing while he was in jail. That's what he said. Like, that's what we dealing with. He said he ain't, bro, if I have to go stand in line at the DMV for 5 hours, I feel like life didn't pass me by. If I went to jail, I definitely would feel like there's a bunch of shit I done missed. He said, hey, not only did he say he ain't missed nothing, he told his homies that's doing 75 years, y'all ain't missing nothing out here either. I'm like, not freedom? It's like, bro, what? I don't know, man. It's crazy. So we can't expect a dude like Pooh Shiesty to not do what he feel like is in his best interest to get out of a bad contract. I think we can at least say though, we could expect him not to film it, right? Like, I feel like we could all agree that if we calling something dumb, that had to be but that's, I don't know, man. I don't know. These kids, it's another level that sometimes that part of it is hard to fathom. But I think that directly comes from not seeing rap as a career and as a profession. I think it just gets looked at like, oh, anybody could do it. Oh yeah, all I think what it is that so much about the authenticity side of rap, about really being from the streets, became the dominant thing, that it made every street nigga feel like, well, if it's dudes in the rap game that's lying and they successful, I should be able to get in and tell my truth and be able to be successful. And it's like, maybe, but also, can you rap? Like, I feel like it don't matter if they can rap or not. I hear so many dudes just throwing words together just because, hey, I've been shot. It don't matter if it rhymes with God. It's just, I don't know, man. I just had that random thought. Much love to everybody out there. We'll keep going, man. Thank y'all for tuning in.